Other news this evening, almost £1 billion is to be invested into the Midlands rail network. The announcement was made by the government on a cabinet away day in the region, and the proposals could mean the long-awaited arrival of electric trains on parts of the network for the first time.
In fact, more than £900 million is to be spent on the electrification of rail lines in our region, £300 million on improving passenger services, £200 million on stations, and a similar amount on freight improvements. £140 million will go towards improving links to HS2 hubs and a further £65 million to improve level crossings. Well, the 5-year programme is scheduled to start in 2014 and it could create up to 30,000 new jobs. Here's Joan Cummings.
The Secretary of State for Environment arrived by car at Coventry Railway Station today to announce the good news about electrification.
A very important improvement in rail travel, and specifically here in the West Midlands, to electrify the line between Leamington Spa and Nuneaton. And that will help rail passengers as well as freight.
Anything that improved customer experience was welcomed by travellers today.
We've got to invest. I know it's a lot of money, and where does it all come from? Who knows?
It doesn't matter at all. As long as I can get from A to B, I'm not fussed.
I'm from South Africa, first time in this year that I've been here, so it looks very impressive.
You're impressed by our railways?
Yeah.
Altogether, the government say they hope to spend £900 million in this region, improving passenger and freight services, as well as, controversially, links to a potential new high-speed hub at Birmingham.
Today's announcement of £140 million to improve the links to High Speed 2 will be of benefit to Coventry and its surrounds.
But at a demonstration in Westminster today, that announcement was treated with scepticism by campaigners opposed to HS2.
Politicians always say something is going to go ahead until they say it's cancelled. So we're here to make it clear that we're not going away. We're going to be campaigning until HS2 is cancelled.
With freight hubs already dotted around the region, electrification will ensure a faster journey for goods trains.
The Leamington, Coventry, Nuneaton lines will very much be mixed traffic railways, so as well as having this freight investment, they will also continue to see passenger trains and also growth in those passenger trains.
The £900 million being invested here in the region assumes that HS2 is going ahead. It also promises to create a freight corridor, but nobody is going to see any dramatic changes for at least 5 years. Joan Cummings, BBC Midlands Today, Coventry.
Well, one of the region's beneficiaries from today's announcement is the Chase line between Walsall and Rugeley. Electrification of the line was first discussed back in the early 1960s. Well, our transport correspondent Peter Plisner is at Smethwick, where today's announcement was made. Peter, this sounds like good news for at least one part of the region.
It is certainly good news if you're one of those commuters who travels from Cannock into Birmingham. It's a busy line, but often neglected. Electrification has been an aspiration for some time. Today, the local MP told us just how important the scheme is.
It will be a better service with more frequent trains, less crowding, more efficient, smoother, quieter journeys for the hundreds of people that use the train every day from my constituency. Secondly, for Cannock Chase as an area, it's going to lead to economic growth. And finally, in the long run, it should lead to lower fares because electric trains are cheaper to run, they're lighter, there's less wear and tear on the track, and there can be more operational efficiency. So hopefully, in the long run, this is fantastic news for the commuter in terms of fares as well.
Well, joining me here in the depot where that cabinet meeting took place this morning is the Managing Director of London Midland Trains. How much difference will this investment make for the Chase line, do you think?
Quite a bit of difference. It's not only will it enable us to use our trains or deploy our trains more flexibly, but if we look at the benefits for passengers, it will give more reliability, punctuality, and it will reduce the journey time by quite a considerable length. And as a Managing Director, what do you make of this big investment plan for the railways? Oh, I'm genuinely delighted because I think, any investment in the infrastructure or in the railway network is good for the industry as a whole, but for us in particular, electrification of the Chase line is good news. Very briefly, it's a wish list. Will it happen, do you think? Oh, I believe it will happen. I believe it will happen. And the announcement, the Prime Minister and the Deputy Prime Minister who are here today seem to be quite committed to the investment. Patrick, many thanks. Well, this is something that is a bit of a wish list. Nothing now will happen until after 2014.
Thanks, Peter.
Coming up later